Hello everyone, Argsy here. Welcome back to Spectacle Island. Gosh, it's been a while since we've been here, and it shows we have a lot to do, a lot to catch up on. Soybeans all ready to go. If you remember, we've got two fields. This field here, which is the original two fields merged into one. First time we're going to harvest this actually, which is exciting. And the other field over by the sawmill. But probably more importantly and more pressing is the sugar beet field is ready to go as well. There you can see it is red, which means we need to get the tops removed off that and get it harvested. Not to mention, we have the field that we harvested last time, the canola field, all ready to go. So we have a lot to do. We've also had to clean up the animals. I was up before the sun this morning, getting them all tidied up. They're all fed, they're pretty happy. We had to pick up a lot of eggs. There was quite a few lying around. You can see there, but what have we got? We've got 4 full cartons there. Got a lot of wool. We've got a lot of pigs. They're reproducing every 4 hours, so we are getting a lot of animals. We're going to have to deal with those at some stage, but obviously our most pressing matters are to get the crops harvested and get started on those. So we'll go down and see our helper. He is here already. I gave him a call last night and said we're going to need you nice and early, and we're going to get him going in the combine while we go and sort out the sugar beet equipment. I'm hoping, because we are dealing with soybeans, we're not going to have to manage the unloading too much. But here we go. A very warm welcome to Spectacle Island to Andy H. Now, Andy H is one of our channel members, and he left a message to say he would love to come. He was doing a tour of alien gyms, different maps, and Spectacle Island was on his list that he would love to see. So here he is. He has come to give us a hand for the day. So welcome, Andy. We're going to get you set up in the combine and get you going on those soybeans. We'll be back and forth. We need to go and get some sugar beet harvesting equipment ready for when we harvest the sugar beets. We're not going to get into those today. We're just going to focus on the soybeans, but we do need to have everything ready. We've got to build the sugar beet plant and everything like that as well. So lots to do, lots of things to go and spend money on. So hopefully the 140 grand we have is sufficient. But in the meantime, we'll go and get you sorted on the combine. So let's go and get that done. So just while we're going to walk in here and get the combine out, one other thing is we've sold our baler. Now, another thing to recall, if you remember, we had put a request up if anyone wanted to buy it, and Farmer Pete07 said that him and his father ran a small baling operation, and that offered me 10 grand for it. Now, I did get an offer of 12 grand from KR Legion, but he wanted the water trailer as well, which I wasn't quite prepared to part with. So we've gone and sold that to Farmer Pete. He has been down and picked that up, and that has gone to his farm, hopefully, to help them with their operation. So thank you very much to you, and thank you very much for the 10 grand. I do appreciate it. So here we are. We'll get this all set up on Courseplay. We'll get Andy over here and get him underway so we can head on down to the store, pick up our beet equipment. What an introduction that was. Alright, and there we go. Andy is off. Now, of course, we're going to get straw with this. And what I was thinking, actually, we might do, walk through the dust, is we might actually put the windrower on this a little bit later, get it into some nice big swaths, which might just make it a little bit quicker to bale. We're not going to try and get it baled while he is harvesting. We'll just let him focus on that, and I'm going to go and focus on getting that sugar beet equipment all sorted out. So I'm going to jump into the tractor here because it is on the trailer, and we're going to head on down to the store. Hopefully we can get the equipment loaded up using the forklift down there, put onto the back of the trailer, and brought back all in one go. I say it's nice to see that field being harvested all in one. It makes such a big difference. It's going to make it a great field to harvest. I'm looking forward to seeing that one all finished. It'll be great. We're going to get a lot of beans off that, and we've got the other ones still to do as well. So I think a lot of those might go into the ship, and we'll go and find the best place to sell them and make some good money off them. So we've made it down here to the shop. Let's go and have a look at the catalogue for all the beet products. So 3 main pieces of equipment we are going to need. We need a topper, which we've got there. We need a lifter or a harvester, which grabs the beets out of the ground. And thirdly, we need a conveyor belt to pick them up with. So I think we're going to go with these 3 bits of equipment here. 3 meter wide, 3 meter wide, and obviously that's just as wide as the pickup width. Otherwise, we do have a few other options here. There is a small little harvester. We've got another small little pickup there, 1 meter wide, and a 1 little meter wide topper. Or is that a harvester as well? It's a harvester as well. Otherwise, we're looking at $100,000 just for a all-in-one harvester that would still need a topper on the front of it, like this one here. So I think this is going to be the best option. In fact, how wide is that one? 3 meters. So the setup we're going to have here is going to work just as well as anything else we get. So we're going to buy these 3. One thing we are going to have to do is change the tractor over and put a front lifter on the front of it. Now I'm pretty sure it's compatible with that, but we're going to get the mechanic down here to have a look and do that for us. Alright, and there we go. All 3 items bought and should be ready for us up on the ship to go and collect. But before we go up there, we're just going to take the tractor over here into the workshop and see what they can do about getting a front lifter put on it. Well, we've just finished talking to the mechanic. He has given us the kit to get this done ourselves. We can't do it here, they haven't got time, but he's given us the kit, so we can get back down to our farm and we'll fish out our toolbox, and we should be able to do it ourselves. Get these weights all taken off, and everything just bolts on, and it's pretty simple to get set up. So we will do that on our own when we get back down to the yard. In fact, we don't even need to bother about doing it today. We just need to do it before we harvest the sugar beets. But let's go and grab the trailer again, and we'll head on up and see if we can get all these bits of equipment loaded onto the back. Well, it's a little unorthodox, but we have managed to just get everything on. Hopefully we can get it unloaded. We've got the telehandler back at the farm, so we should be able to get it all off there. But wish me luck. We'll be taking this very, very slowly back down to the yard, making sure we can get it all down there in one piece. So we'll meet you back down there. Well, we've made it. I'm not going to pretend that went smoothly. It was not the best choice to try and carry all of this back on the trailer here. Some creative rearrangement on the fly was needed a couple of times, but we're here and we have it here now, and it looks like Andy's onto his 4th headland pass, is he? Yeah, fantastic. So he's making good progress there. Obviously found the keys for the truck and managed to go and get that all up and going, and over there you can see it parked over on the side there, so he's been getting unloaded into that. So there we go. Right, well, we're going to go get the telehandler and attempt to lift these off and get everything all set up. Now, like I said, we can't start yet because we need to get this all reconfigured, and at the moment our priority is here on the soybeans. So we'll just get things unloaded and carry on with giving Andy a bit of a hand. I did want to get a new cultivator, and we do need to go down and build the sugar beet processing factory, or the pulp mill, or whatever it is that it's called. So that was something else we're going to do today, so we'll do that while Andy's still harvesting. But like I said, I did want to get a new cultivator, something just a little bit bigger, because we do have quite a little land that is going to need to be turned over in the next little while. So let's go and grab the telehandler first. A little bit of grunting, groaning and complaining. We've managed to get everything unloaded here and all ready to use. So we'll just leave it there for now. Get the trailer backed out of the way. Andy must be getting pretty close. You can see him coming around there. He's probably going to need to be unloaded again soon, so we'll be able to jump into the truck and give him a hand there. But we'll get this trailer out of the way of the yard, get it out of the middle of the space here. In fact, there we go. There's a little notification telling us that he needs an unload, so we'll go and jump into the truck, go and take care of that. It's already 6,000 litres here in the truck, and whatever's in the combine at the moment, another 1,800 or so. So that'll give us about 7-8, and that will go be full in the truck there. There we go, into the trailer. That's already a good start. We're only just going around the 4th headland pass, so we're going to get a really good amount of soybeans off this field, and count the other field into that as well. We're going to have a bumper crop here to go and sell. So I think we might just go and take a quick look, just get this emptied out. That'll do. We'll let him carry on. He's going to start on some up and down rows. In fact, if we park down the end here, we'll get the combine emptied out just before he starts on the up and down rows. He should get there and back without having to unload, but once he's on his lands, it'll be a little bit harder for the first pass. But if we just wait there, let's take a quick look and see where it is worth selling our soybeans at the moment. Well, for once, it's actually neck and neck between one of the boat unloading stations and the soy milk factory. Not much between them, and one's going down and the other's heading on its way up. So we might just hang on to these for just a little bit and put them in the silo and see where we end up with the best price, because if it's the soy milk factory, we'd obviously use the truck and run them down to there. If it's the boat unloading station, we're obviously going to have to use the boat to get rid of them there. But just planning wise, the other reason we need soybeans potentially would be for our pig feed, but we also have canola and sunflowers for that. And coming back in here, you can see we've got 48,000 litres of canola and 7,000 litres of sunflowers. 7,000 litres of sunflowers. So we've got plenty of options there for our pigs, along with the corn. So we don't have to worry too much about selling these. So I think they will be going to one of these sell points. We'll just keep an eye on which one is the most profitable. So while Andy starts on his lands, we're just going to jump here. We've got the kit to put on for the tractor. So if we just enter our little toolbox here and go to customize, we've got an interesting little bug here, and I can't figure this one out. We can go in here. We can't customize the tractor. However, we grab this here and go to customize. We can customize the trailer. So I'm not sure why we can customize one and not the other. So that will explain why we couldn't customize it down at the workshop. All I can think of is I did repair it, but it's 100% repaired. So whether it's because it's like that, we might just put a bit more time on it, get the repair bar down a little bit, and see if we can force it into being customized, because that's going to put a little bit of a hiccup or spanner in our works if we can't run the topper on the front and the harvester on the back, because that is the plan for how I was going to harvest the sugar beets. So that's not ideal, but we'll manage a way around it. I'm sure we'll be able to customize it somehow. So the other thing I wanted to do while Andy was busy was get down here and build our beet processing plant. Now, if you remember from a very early stage of the series, this was always intended to be a bit of a production area over here. We put our greenhouse down, then found out we didn't own the land and had a bit of a rush before we were going to be forced to sell everything to come up with 100 grand to buy the land, which we managed to do, and now we own all this part. But we've only managed to have the greenhouse on here, nothing else. So the first part was to expand that into the beet production. So let's have a look in the build menu and get that building added. So we have here $28,000, the premium sugar factory. We also have the super feed pallet press, which we'll be wanting to get at some stage, but first up is just to get the sugar factory, because this is where we can put our sugar beets and get them processed into, I think it processes them into sugar, beet pulp and molasses, which we can use for different things. So we'll just have a look here at our building. We've obviously got bit of a flat area here already. I can start to see a few triggers in that on the building, and if we just spin that round, there's an unload auger there on the right, looks to be our loading trigger there in the front. So I think we want to make the most of this flat area. We also wanted to remember that we do want to have a bit of an access way across the front, so I think we might just look at doing a little bit more ground contouring and leveling off, but I think if we go for somewhere like that, might be the best place to build that. So I'm just going to level this off just a little bit more, and then we'll get the building placed. And there we go, we've got that flattened out a little bit better. I was just trying to figure out if this is square to the greenhouse, which it pretty much is. So the intention is to plonk it back about here. There must be a little bit of landscaping in the back corner, but at least we've got a nice level runoff area and a little bit of space there on the spawn point or trigger point there on the right that you can see. So let's go and place that down there, which is looking pretty good to me. There we go, we've got our sugar refinery. You can see there our inputs of lime and sugar beets, our outputs of molasses, beet pulp and sugar, which will be pretty fun to make a start on. There we go, if we open it into a little bit more detail, there we have our sugar beets and lime. Now good thing is, obviously lime is free on Spectacle Island, so we can go and load up with as much of that as we like. We've got our dump trigger here, and we do still have enough space out the back to turn around on if we want to, otherwise you can drive in and back up and dump into it. Also nice to have some gravel rather than dirt here, texture here as well. And of course the other part of the pack is the pallet press, and if we just have a look at the space that takes up, again, quite a bit more space, so we might have to look at clearing off some more land and figuring out where we're going to put that, because we don't want to just keep leveling off up into here. We might have to cut a few more trees down or something like that. Maybe it comes in here opposite the potato greenhouse or something like that. I don't know, we'll figure that out a little bit later, but for now we just need to worry about getting the sugar factory up and going once we've got some sugar beets. But I see Andy is full again, so let's get back down there and get him unloaded. There we are, all unloaded and running pretty smoothly really, and getting a good amount of soybean straw actually. This is going to be a bit of an effort to bale up and get taken off, but I think windrowing it up might be a good option. But like I said, we will wait until the field's fully cleared before we do that. But what I am going to do, now that we've pretty much got everything we need for sugar beets, we've still got 35 grand, I'm going to go down to the store again, and we're going to try and come back with a larger cultivator. We'll see what the options are when we get down there and pick up something that might be a little bit more suited for us now that we've got this additional sort of areas, bigger fields, and that will hopefully last us for quite a bit longer. So, we'll jump in the tractor and head on down there. So at the moment we've got a 200 horsepower tractor, and we've got a 3.5 meter cultivator, this little Eicher one here, which is good because we can run it behind the little fent, but obviously the Deutz is a little bit bigger. Now we've got a few options here: 5 meters, 13 grand, 4 meters, 12 grand. Carrying on up here, 5 meters, 10 grand, 4 meters, 5 meters, right through here, and right to the end we've got these 5 meter and 6 meter cultivators. 6 meters for $15,500, only needing 150 horsepower, 10 miles per hour. I'm pretty sure they were all up around that speed. In fact, that's probably the fastest, just scrolling through. These are all 9. They're the only ones that go at 10. So I think we're going to have a look in here, and this Killis 600 Now, looking at some options there, we can put the hydraulic level board as standard, or we can add that board there on the front, extra $700. I think we'll just stay with standard. And design, we can have the wheels there in the center, or without, or with the leveling tines, which I think you can see them popping there in the middle, or just as standard. Now I think we don't need anything other than standard for our cultivation, so we are going to go for that and get that purchased, and that will be great to tackle everything back at the farm. That'll get us through some of that land very, very quickly. Alright, and there she is. That is a very sizable bit of kit. I am just a little bit worried. I mean, we do have the weight on the front, but I'm a little bit worried that this is going to be a bit back heavy on our tractor. We'll have to wait and see once we get lifted up. There we go, that should be all we need. We'll just get that hoisted up there, because it does sit a long way out. No, not too bad. Seems to be sitting down alright, but that is pretty big. For only 150 horsepower, pretty impressive. So, let's get this back to the farm, and we'll give it a try in that canola field, and see how it goes with some cultivation while Andy keeps on with the harvesting. Alright, back here, and Andy's making a great work on that field. Look at how far across it is. Probably going to need an unload again soon. Looking like the truck's getting pretty full. So before we jump into here, we will go and take care of that, make sure that he can keep on moving, and then we'll come and take a look at this cultivation. To be honest, we do need a little bit more weight on there. So I'm wondering if we do go to a 3-point lifter on the front, whether we can actually go and get a bigger weight, because I don't think stock we can put any more on there than what we already have. So we might have to go down that route and find some heavier weights with 3-point hitch. But let's go and get this combine emptied out, and look at that, 11,500 litres of soybeans. So good effort on that. And there we go, he needs an empty. So good timing to come and jump into the truck. We've just carried on travelling along here just about full. Not sure if we're going to get to 100% before the end of the road. Not quite. Pretty close. But I was taking a look at our prices, and the soybean, well, the soy milk factory is actually the higher price than the boat unload at the moment. So let's take a look in there. You can see 1,048 at the soy milk factory and 1,041 at the boat unloading station. So we're going to pause on the cultivation as well. We're going to go and run this load here down to the soy milk factory, go and get this unloaded, and go and earn some money. We'll be back in just a minute, because we need to make sure we've got something for Andy to keep unloading in. So we'll travel down there and get this sold. So just over 14 grand from that load of soybeans, which was a good start. We can get that off, well, we won't get another whole load out of here, but the other field, 28 or 30 grand off all of these beans would be fantastic. That'd be a good little bit of income, and top the account up again. So we're almost paid for that cultivator over there without really doing anything. So let's go and try it out. I'm keen to see how it goes. So 6 meters of cultivating goodness. We'll just get it unfolded there, one side at a time by the looks of things. It's quite nice. Let it get all done, and then we'll get it lowered down and make a start on this field. So here we go, see how it goes. Perfect, does what it should do, and 10 miles per hour. It's not going to waste any time getting it done, which is nice to see as well. So almost double the width of what we did have, and faster no doubt than what we did have as well, which is awesome. So I'm just going to crack into getting this field done while Andy carries on with the harvest. We'll have to jump out a couple of times and go and help him over there with getting unloaded and things like that. But in the meantime, we'll just take on a little bit of a time lapse here, and we'll catch up with you again in a little while. Well, I must admit this cultivator is a huge efficiency improvement for the farm. We have got through this field in no time. It has been fantastic and it's done a good job. Handled the weight fine on the tractor. Obviously when we're going a bit faster and over bumps and that in transport mode it was a little bit more unstable, but here in the field just turning around at ends and things like that, no problems whatsoever. So very impressed. It's going to be a great addition to the farm. And Andy over in the soybean field is just about finished as well, so get this folded up, we'll head on over and go and get him emptied out for the last time probably, and I think we might be wrapping things up there for today. We've got a lot done in this episode already. Obviously all ready to go with the sugar beets next time. Still got one more field of soybeans to harvest and all the straw to bale as well, so plenty to keep on going with, but I think for today we are going to be at a good point to wrap things up. So we're just going to test out whether we can customize the tractor again here. We've got the toolbox back out, so we just bring this up here and have a look. You can see we've actually got the requirement to repair it now, and there we go. Now I have heard of this as a bug in 19. People won't really care about it because not many people are still using 19, but there we go. We can get in and customize it, which is good. So at the moment we are set up with 545 kilos of weight on the front. We want to go to the front lifting arms. There we go. That looks pretty good. Now I have to be mindful of the fact that we do have the cultivator on the back, so we're going to have to take that off before we move too far with this, but at least we can go do that $800. That's the cost of the kit that we got from the mechanics. And I just wanted to have a quick look if there's any other options for weights. Obviously wheel setup, original wheels, alternative base with connectors. We could go to twins, wides, huge, lots of options, but I think we'll just stay with what we've got there as the original wheels. We don't need to change anything up there. I was just wondering if we could have got some weights, but we'll go there and customize this option here, which will be good. There we go. We've lost our weight on the front, so we'll get that moved out of the way, and we'll just be mindful when we move the cultivator or move the tractor that we need to tread carefully because we don't have that 500 kilos of weight on the front that we did before. There we are. That backed up okay there without any weight on it, so that has all worked out pretty well. In fact, we'll get that disconnected just while we're waiting for Andy. He's still got a few more rows to go and enough space in the combine. We might actually go and just test hooking up to the beet equipment because I'm looking forward to getting into that next time. So let's see there. We can get the harvester on the back. I'm going to put that on first because that Harlem header, the top of there, looks pretty big and heavy. Alright, and there we go. That's looking alright actually. All seems to be fitting on there quite nicely, which is good. That's going to leave us very well set up for next time. You have a look under there, you can see the spinning blades for the toppers. There's a bit of a roller there on the back, and that'll come out. And then on the other side, obviously got some discs, the lifters, and everything gets sort of windrowed up in the middle. So that should, all going to plan, work out very well. So we'll just lower this all back down and leave it sitting here for next time. There we are. Andy is on his last little pass there. We've got just under 8,000 litres in the truck and trailer. We'll get the last little piece out of the combine. It's up close to 9, so that'll give us about 23,000 litres or so off this field, which is not too bad. We're getting over $1,000 per 1,000 litres, so at least 23 grand on this field alone. So very nice return, and we haven't even considered all the straw that we're going to get it off it either. So here we are. That should be combine emptied out, so we'll get out of his way because he's probably going to return. No, we've got him ending there. That's fine. We'll head on over here and park this up because we will be in the next field harvesting soybeans next time, so I will be carrying on with that and hopefully taking those ones down to sell at the soy milk factory as well. Well, Andy, thank you very much for your help today. It is fantastic to get that soybean field harvested, and much better to be able to do that all as one rather than the two fields it was previously. So well done. Appreciate your help there. It is going a long way to getting us back on track, catching up on all the tasks we have around here. So thank you again. I hope to see you around again soon. So indeed, it was good to get that done. It was good to get all the sugar beet equipment sorted. We've got that over here ready to go for next time. That is going to work out really well. I am contemplating whether the little vent will pull the windrow. It's only meant to be 70 horsepower, and the little vent's only 48, but it is a flat field, so we may give that a try, which will allow us to have the Deutz running with the topper and the windrower on the back, and then we can use the conveyor to pick it up. We'll see. We'll try and decide and figure out if that's going to be the best way. But we do still have all the other soybeans that need harvesting. We do have all this straw that's going to need baling and everything like that. So there is going to be plenty to do next time. So if you want to come along and give us a hand, make sure you leave a comment down below, and we will pick someone to come along and be our helper next time. If you've got expertise in beet harvesting, I'd suggest putting your name down, because you might be just the person we need. So, as always, I hope you've enjoyed that episode. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.